Welcome to the first lesson of this course. Today we are going to set up and prepare our server for a Pocket node to install the software. So first of all, right here, I'm using a server that I'm actually getting rid of. I learned a couple things I'm going to share with you right now. So here we go. Let's look at hardware. I got 32 16 CPUs, and then this number 32 here is vCPUs. You definitely want to get double that. You want to get 64 vCPUs, okay? Definitely 3 gigahertz or more. On RAM, 64, you definitely need to get twice as many as that. That's what actually one of the things that killed me on this server is I ran out of RAM, so the nodes kept shutting down. 12 terabytes of space. You will run out of that quickly within a few months from all the blockchains and all the data. So what I'm doing from now on is I'm getting over 20 terabytes of space. It's kind of an overkill, but with 20 bytes of space, it allows me to put 10 Pocket nodes and all the chains that I need to, make some good rewards. So that's basically it. So refresher, you want to get at least 64 vCPUs, 128 gigs of RAM, and at least 20 terabytes or more of hard drive space. And you want this NVMe. I'm sure you've seen that all over Discord and in NodePilot. They're super fast operating hard drives, and that's what you need so that the relays could relay very quickly without losing any data. Okay. So I ordered this bare metal server from OVH. You could order it from wherever you want, get a bare metal server, and we're going to install, if I say this right, Ubuntu. So I'm going to go through the process right here. Just use their default, operating system. Let's scroll down. Ubuntu 20. I just use that because I'm used to it. I know it works. Here's an updated version. I don't know. I just want to stick with what works. I don't want to cause any issues. You want to customize the partition, and I'll show you why on the next page. We hit next. And for RAID, what we're going to do here is select RAID 0. So what this does is it combines all the hard drives into one partition. Now, some people say you shouldn't do this because you need to back up your data in case you have a hard drive fault. My philosophy is I'm trying to reduce my operating expenses, and so hard drives are a big cost of that. So as long as I back up my NodePilot, if there is an issue with the hard drive, something going wrong with it, the server crashing, I have a backup of my NodePilot that I could easily install, and it doesn't take too long. So to save money, I do a RAID 0, maximize it out so I could use all the space. So on this server, again, you're going to see 16 terabytes. Select OK. This is confirming that we're going to have this partition without a backup. Confirm, and then hit next. Again, this just confirms everything: server, operating system, the disks, and hit confirm. And now it's going to install. And this is going to take, I don't know, 20 minutes or something like that. So while it's doing this, we're going to pause this. But again, real quick, is as you can see on here, there were 16 terabytes of space. So on this one, I actually had enough space. But one thing I want to talk to you guys about, and I'll put some notes in here, is the location. This was in Poland, and horrible location. You want to be close to where all the action is. So I got a new server in Germany and one in France. Those seem to be the best places in the world. Asia would be good, but I couldn't find any servers anywhere in Asia with the parameters that we need. And then, of course, East Coast is second best. All right. So I'm going to pause it for now, and then we'll come back and move on with the course. All right. Thanks. Okay, we're back. Now that the installation is complete, what we need to do is log on to the server through the command prompt and add a new user, because once we start installing NodePilot, we want to install it, or we don't want to install it under the default user. So to get to your command line prompt in Windows, you just go down to CMD, opens up the command prompt, and we want to SSH into it. Usually the default username after installing the operating system is Ubuntu at, and then you type in the IP address 146.59.84.4. All right. Cool. It's asking me if we want to connect and leave a fingerprint on our computer. Just type in yes. And then it's asking for the password. It already emailed me the password. I'm just going to place that in here I copied it, clicking on my right mouse button, hitting enter, and we are into the server. Okay, so next stop, what we want to do is, first we want to change this password. So let me put you on pause for a minute. Okay, so for the default user, we want to change the password. This way nobody has it. We know what it is. So what is the code? It's PASSWD. It will ask for the current one that was given to us. So I'm pasting that in there, hit enter. And my new password, I'm just going to make something up. I'm going to ask for it again. Okay, good. That password was updated successfully. So now the default user has a password that we know and that nobody else has or knows or anything like that. Now what we want to do is add a new user. So let me just grab the code here. I have this in my notepad. All right. And I'm going to paste it right here. So it's sudo add username. Oops. You know what? Let me back out of this for a second. I messed up. Come on. Okay. Get all that. Let's do this again. I'm going to paste the code, and it's sudo add user, and then this is the username. So I'm just going to put, Tommy. Hit enter. It's going to ask you for a password for this new user. So enter a password, put it in again. Just hit enter for all this stuff. It's going to ask you name, work phone number, all that. Just keep hitting enter. Is this correct? Hit yes. Boom. All right. There we go. We have successfully added a new user, and that's where we're going to install the NodePilot. I'm going to put you on pause here again for one more minute. Okay. Now that we have set up the new user, we want to actually log into that user. So what we could actually do is just type in the command su with the username. Where is it? Sorry about that. Su Tommy, which is the user we sent up. It's going to ask for the password. And there we go. For some reason, this directory is showing up. I'm just going to type in CD to go back to the home directory. So as you can see, we're logged in with Tommy. So now that everything is set up here, this is actually where we're going to install NodePilot, which is in the next lesson. All right, guys, I hope that helped you out. Again, comments, questions, anything, I'll be here to help you out. All right, thanks for watching. Later. Okay, after we set up the new user, now we need to give that new user admin privileges. So I just copied the code that is shown below. Paste it there, hit enter, and that's basically it. Now what we're going to do is change users to install the software. So that's a simple command, su username Tommy and the password. Cool. And there we go. That's it. See you in the next steps. Okay, next little lesson here is how to set up the domain, configure the domain to point to the server. All you have to do here is grab the IP address that it's on. I'm going to copy the IP address. And this domain I don't even use. So we're going to add 3 records here. Okay, a record, host, at, IP address. There you go. Oh, by the way, I use Namecheap. I've been using Namecheap since the 90s. So that's what I'm on here. You could use anything. Add another record, a record. Pocket Node requires a host name for it. So like what I do is I name, I'll have the domain name and then it will be something like Pocket Node 1, dot whatever domain name. So I'm going to put that in here. And then we need a wildcard. So another a record. And what we're going to do is put star dot pn1 and then IP address. So we're doing this because we're going to install NoPilot and this is what it needs. All right. So that should be it. Takes a few minutes to propagate. And in our previous lesson, we were setting up the server. So now we're doing the domain name and we'll get right back to show you how to add that to the server. All right. Thanks. Bye. All right. After all of that, let's get ready to install the software. Okay. Basically, you just follow the lesson, just copy all the code and let it install. So first we have to log into the server. So that's SSH, Tommy at IP address, password. All right, there we go. And we're going to grab the first line of code, which is right here. Paste it. There we go. For each of these lines of code, some might take a couple minutes, some might not take anything to install. Okay, so that was the first one. Now we grab the second, paste, hit it. Yes. All right, now the third one, make sure you grab everything. All right. Again, right click on the mouse, we'll paste it there. Control V does not work. All right, next step. Again, make sure you grab everything. Oops. I got to listen to my own advice, don't I? Copy. All right. Paste. There we go. Next line. All right. Next line of code. Yeah, this is all you guys have to do. Really, the difficult stuff for me in learning all this was just how to set up the hard drive, the RAID, learning some Linux for the usernames, passwords, all that. And then this stuff is just real easy. Like I said, just grabbing this code. All right, next one. I don't even know if we have to add this one. Already exists. Yeah, we don't have to add that. All right, next one. Paste it. All right. And now we are going to reboot. So the server is going to reboot right now. And that installed Docker. So next what we're going to do is install the actual node pilot. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab that code right here. Actually, first we have to log back in now. So I'm going to put on pause for a couple seconds, let the server shut down and reboot, and then we will proceed. Okay, we're back. Let's go ahead and log back in. Is that 146.59.b4.4? Ah, still rebooting. I'll be right back. Okay, it rebooted. I got us back in. Now let's proceed with the next steps of installing the Node Pilot software. Okay, so we're going to grab this code here and make sure you get it all. Paste it. Asking for password. All right, this might take a few minutes. So I'm going to pause it and we'll come right back. It does ask if you want to proceed here. Select Y for yes, hit enter, and now we're back. Okay, now the next step we're going to do is we're going to start Node Pilot, but this just starts it and not the full, I believe it's called the daemon, or it's fully operational. I would say this is more of like a test. This just allows us to log in and set it up. So we just copy the code, place it there, and it is basically starting up. So we installed it. So our next steps are going to be, we're going to log in. We're going to set up an account on it through the GUI interface through the web. And then we're going to configure it. Okay, so that's the next lesson in this course. All right, again, any questions, comments, please leave them here. And I hope I could help you guys out. All right, thanks. All right, here we are ready to configure our Node Pilot install. So the first thing you do is you grab the IP address, and up here in the browser bar, type in the IP address, and in your web browser frame, it will say it's unsafe to proceed. Click on proceed. It's okay. It's just a precautionary thing because you installed new software on here. Then this screen will come up. Okay. So what you'll have to do is, put in your name, an email address, and then a password. And it must be 12 characters long. So let's do that right now. Submit. All right. And here we are. Public IP address, public port 443 is open. That's default. That's usually open. So what we have to do now is configure the domain name. So let's click on that. We're going to grab the domain name from our Namecheap. Here's the test one we're using. We'll put that in right here. Save root domain. Verify. Boom. Verified. Next step. Click over here for the TLS status, not configured. Select automatically configure. And this is going to install. So I'm going to pause it real quick and we'll be right back. One thing, DNS configuration, I forgot to put the subdomain. So I think what we did was Pocket Node 1 dot and then the domain name. Let's save that. That's verified. Now we'll go to the TLS certificate, automatically configure TLS. And this is going to take a while, so I'm going to pause it and we'll be right back. All right, I am back, and there we have a success. Refreshing the browser. Let's give it a minute here. All right, it's going to ask us. All right, after installing the TLS configuration, it's going to ask you to log back in. So make sure you have your correct username, email address, and password. And this is what it's going to look like right here. Okay, after you log back in, after configuring it, what we do need to do is shut it down so we could actually reboot it. So that's the button right here. Select Safe Shutdown, shut down Node Pilot. And there we go. It's shutting down. And then what we're going to do is log back in through the command prompt to restart it. So I'm going to put you on pause right now and switch over to that. All right, I'm logged back in through the command prompt. And this time we're going to start it as the daemon. So it's actually running fully functional. You can see the code right here. And that is down below in the instructions too. Go and hit enter. And this is going to restart Node Pilot. All right, so we're going to come right back and log back into Node Pilot. Okay, it completed the process. So what we're actually going to do is log in through the domain name. So we're grabbing the domain name, and it is pn1.domainname. And here we go. Log in with your username and password. And there we go. Here's the user interface. Oops. And now we are actually going to the next lesson to install the chains. Thanks for your patience. I hope this helps. All right, getting closer and closer. So now we're going to install the chains. Then after that, the POKT validators. And so once we install this right now, it's going to take a couple days for some of the relays to sync, and then you'll be closer to earning some passive income. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the chains first. And there's a reason we start with the chains first, because they take a long time to actually download the whole blockchain. So first one, Ethernet, Ethereum. And these are the recommendations here that NotePilot gives. I actually add a little bit more. So instead of 8 vCPUs, I'm going to choose 10. Instead of 16 gigabytes of RAM, I am choosing 32. Create node, and it's going to create the node right now, and it takes a few minutes. Oh, and there we go. All right. So you can see you got some other options up here: restart node, stop node, clear chain data, delete node, view node log files. Okay, so we're going to go back to the main interface, and as you can see, it says running here, but it's actually syncing. So give that some time. Let's go do the next one. And the next one we want to choose is, let's go ahead and do XDAI. And again, I'm going to bump up some of these requirements or resources. There we go. Create node. Now, this node is not that big of a database, but it takes a good week to download. Kind of sucks. Anyways, is what it is. Next one. Let's go to Fuse. All right. Again, I'm going to give it a little bit more resources than necessary. Create node. And it's creating right now. And there we go. All right. So what you're going to do is just let all these sync. And I'm going to show you there's a couple of them that we could actually speed up. So after Fuse, we want to do Harmony. This one earns us a lot. And this one, yeah, we're going to give it more resources. Keep it at 32 gigs, create node. And I believe this is the blockchain that we could actually pull the snapshot on. All right. So we're going to go back here. You can see all of these are syncing. Let's log back into I got to shrink that down. Sorry. Give me a second here. Okay, let's log back into Harmony here. Give me a sec. I'm going to put on pause. Okay, we're back into Harmony here. And so what we could actually do is pull the snapshot. This is going to speed up the whole process. So that's right up here. Select pull snapshot. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. And it's going to start working. Okay, here you can see it's starting to download the whole snap. All right, welcome back. While we got the chain syncing, what we're going to do is sync up one of our POKT nodes right now and get that thing going. So by tomorrow, we could hopefully go live with it. All right, so we go over here to validators. And what we want to do is change a few things here. The vCPUs is 16. That's fine. Keep that there. The maximum memory that we want to use, we've had some issues in the past couple months with the upgrades to where these Pocket nodes, you'd log into your system and they would just have stopped. So what I found out, and a few of us, is you want to get it actually up to about 20 gigabytes. Okay, so you can see I just did that here, 20 gigabytes, using these down and upward arrows right here. Okay. Right here, just generate a key password. And then down here, down below, you can see we have some of the chains right here, the connected chains. We don't want to connect them yet because those are not synced yet. So that's something we're going to have to come back and do after everything's synced. So right now we just select create Pocket node. All right. And that is going to create our Pocket node for us. And I'll show you what to do next as soon as that is created. Okay, there we go. It's created. It's syncing, but what we actually want to do is we're going to pull the snapshot. But before we do that, let me show you a couple other things here. Again, you have restart node, stop node, clear chain data, delete node, enable simulate relay. This is something we use to figure out if that specific server with those new nodes is going to be, or how profitable it's going to be. Show private key. Okay, I am going to show this right now because I'm not using this node. This is just for testing. This private key is what we use to access your wallet. So you're going to purchase the Pocket tokens, send them to the wallet, and then we come onto the node and we stake them. So you would actually copy this and use it to connect to your wallet. Okay. Snapshot data is successfully pulled for Fuse. Can you believe that? Fuse is ready to go. Okay, so let's go back to the control panel real quick. And wow, Fuse is running. So that's great. Okay, let's go back into this Pocket node. We're just starting. And what we're going to do here is we're going to pull this snapshot. So yes, we want to do that. And this will probably take half a day. And then we could actually connect it to Fuse. And if any other ones are live, we could connect those too. All right. So again, create the Pocket node. 20 gigs of memory. Just use the default, password that sets up for you. Pull the snapshot, and that's all we can do for right now. All right, we'll check back later.